Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Courtney Carpenter with the National Weather Service. We are currently closely monitoring Hurricane Hilary off the coast of Baja California. This will move northeastward inland into Southern California as a tropical storm later this weekend, Sunday into Monday. We are expecting a rare and dangerous rainfall event with significant flash flooding, river flooding, mudslides and debris flows, as well as the potential for wind damage from strong tropical storm force winds. This storm will also bring the potential for isolated tornadoes across portions of Southern California. In addition, we're expecting life-threatening surf and rip current conditions along the beaches of Southern California. The worst impacts are expected on the east side of the inland mountains and into the desert southwest. Preparations for flooding impacts should be rushed to completion today, as heavy rainfall is expected to begin well advanced of the center of the storm. Keep up with the latest forecast from the National Hurricane Center, your local National Weather Service forecast office, and please heed any instructions or orders from local emergency officials. Thank you. I will now pass it on to Director Nancy Ward from California Governor's Office of Emergency Services.
Thanks, Courtney. I am Nancy Ward, Director of the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, and we're here today because California is threatened by what could be one of the most devastating storms that we've had hit California in more than a decade. Make no mistake, this is a very, very dangerous and significant storm. Heavy rainfalls, strong winds associated with this storm began today already and will be felt well beyond the center of the storm entering California. I've been in near constant contact with Governor Newsom, and he has pretty much told us to lean as far forward as we can in coordinating and reassuring Californians that we're doing all that we can to keep them safe and to respond as quickly as we possibly can. The State Operations Center, which is right behind me, is activated 24/7 to coordinate those response operations, to take resource requests from our local stakeholders and counties, communities across the southern part of this state to ensure that no needs are unmet in their areas. Our state has the best trained and experienced local first responders in the country. We're proud to have them pre-positioned all across the southern part of this state to ensure that we can respond as quickly as possible. We've pre-positioned high water vehicles, swiftwater rescue teams. You will hear that we have other resources from my fellow directors from other state agencies with teams out of their agencies as well, all across Southern California. We're also working with our utility partners. We have pre-positioned high water. My apologies, I was hearing an echo. We've pre-positioned resources. We're also working with our utility partners down in the Southern California area to ensure that they have what they need, and we're in constant communication. There will be power outages, make no mistake. There will be power outages across Southern California, and we want to be sure that we have this close communication with those utility companies to ensure that they can restore power as quickly as they possibly can. We also want to ensure that Californians do what they can do to keep themselves safe. Signing up for alerts, ensuring that you have a go bag ready to evacuate should you be asked, making sure that you are in touch with family and friends, elderly neighbors, or people with access and functional needs that need their help. Need your help, in ensuring that they can get out or have what they need to shelter in place during the storm. Don't drive around during the storm. Certainly don't drive in moving water, go around barricades, or enter areas that you know to be of vulnerability to your safety. And by all means, ensure that if you are asked to evacuate, that you do so immediately. While the challenges we face over the next several days are great, we're positioning ourselves, our local governments, and our emergency response stakeholders to ensure as much of your safety as we possibly can. But we need your help to make you as safe as possible. And with that, I will pass it over to Director Carla Nemeth, the Director of the Department of Water Resources.
Thank you, Director Ward. I'm Carla Nemeth, the Director of the California Department of Water Resources. The department has activated our state and federal flood operations center, and that's where we are monitoring the potential effects of Hurricane Hilary. We are participating in daily briefings with our colleagues at the National Weather Service in Hanford, which is Central California, Los Angeles, San Diego, and Phoenix, to cover the scope of Hurricane Hilary that is approaching. We are also in contact with local flood agencies, and we have pre-positioned flood fighting materials, things like sandbags and other materials for the public in the counties of Los Angeles, San Bernardino, Ventura, Santa Barbara, and Orange County. We also have pre-positioned flood fight materials in Fresno and Kings County and other Central Valley counties as needed. The department is also working with dam operators in Southern California to make sure those dam facilities are ready to release water as needed. People may see spillway gates open and the release of floodwaters. That is a normal flood operations procedure, and we anticipate in dams in Southern California, eastern San Diego County, those kinds of facilities may be activated. We are also monitoring debris in basins that can produce as a result of flash flooding, and we are confident that local flood management agencies and dam operators are ready with the materials they need to clear that out and keep our communities safe. If you are someone who tracks the historical nature of these kinds of weather events, we did have a decaying tropical storm K last September that caused extensive damage, particularly in Santa Barbara County. This storm, Hurricane Hilary, is anticipated to be stronger than that. You would have to go back to 1939 since Southern California last saw a true tropical storm affect populations that dropped almost 8 inches of rain on Mount Baldy in Los Angeles County. So given all of that, we strongly advise people to stay home. If you do not need to be out on the roads, please take yourself out of the equation. We need to make sure that all of our folks are kept safe, including our first responders. So thank you, and please be safe over the course of the next 24 to 48 hours. With that, I would like to introduce Kim Johnson, the Director of our Department of Social Services. Director Johnson.
Thank you, Director. With California Health and Human Services Agency, we've mobilized most of the departments within the agency, reaching out to local partners, to our licensed settings, caring for some of our most vulnerable, those with disabilities, our elders, those older adults, as well as unsheltered individuals, to help ensure that people have access to the services should they need them. Remember, it is not too late to prepare. Visit our website at www.chhs.ca.gov and download your template for your personal emergency plan to keep you and your family safe. This is especially important for those who have access and functional needs. Each of us, as you've heard, can also do our part. Please check in on your neighbor, connect with the older person in your life, and offer support to the person who might need some additional help. We are absolutely stronger together. If you are concerned about the well-being of a loved one residing in one of the state's long-term care facilities, that's board and care, assisted living, skilled nursing, please don't hesitate to reach out to the statewide long-term care ombudsperson. That crisis line is available 24/7 and can be reached at 1-800-231-4024. The team at the Department of Public Health is coordinating with regional medical health disaster coordinators and proactively engaging with all health facilities, including hospitals and nursing homes, in areas that are most likely to be impacted to ensure that they both maintain operations and have sufficient capacity. The California Department of Social Services is in contact with county officials in Southern California and stands ready to support local sheltering operations as needed. Many shelters are currently on standby and being with pre-positioned assets to quickly stand up with our partners as needed. And finally, the Emergency Medical Service Authority has assets on standby, including a California Medical Assistance Team to be prepared to augment local capacity and ensure the EMS system is able to respond. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Tony Tavares, the Director of the California Department of Transportation.
Thank you, Director Johnson. Good afternoon. I'm Tony Tavares, the Director for the California Department of Transportation, otherwise known as Caltrans. Caltrans has been proactively pre-positioning resources since Friday morning, including employees and equipment, staging them so that we can respond very quickly to the storm event. We have almost 2,000 employees working 12-hour shifts around the clock, and we have activated our Department Operations Center here in Sacramento, as well as our Emergency Operations Centers in our districts between Sacramento and San Diego and in between. We've also reached out to our construction contracting industry partners, and we have several large, medium, and small business enterprises on standby, ready to assist our crews if needed. Safety, that's our highest priority at Caltrans. It's my biggest concern for you, your families, and your loved ones. We want to ensure that you are safe through this entire event. If you do not need to be on the roadways, we are asking you to postpone any of your non-essential travel until the peak of the storm passes. If you must travel and you encounter water flowing across the roadways, do not attempt to drive through it. It takes just a very limited amount of water to wash a vehicle away. Out of the abundance of caution, Caltrans may close roadways proactively to ensure your safety. So please be patient with us as we get through the storm together. We're also experiencing right now in real time local flooding in